Hello and welcome back to Sakura Spirit. I think that's what this one's called. We returned to Machiko and enjoyed our dessert together. It wasn't too long after that Miko-chan started to feel sleepy, so Machiko took her to bed, wishing me a good night. The next morning. So this is the third video and I've yet to do anything that I would respond as gameplay. I haven't even made any decisions. I woke the next morning to the sun filtering through the wooden blind shutters and yawned loudly. The girls had very graciously given me an entire room to myself. It was certainly a lot bigger than my room back home. It was still early morning, likely a bit before breakfast, when I decided to spend a short moment to gather my thoughts. It was clear to learn more about my situation, I would need to obtain the wisdom of the spirit dwelling within the shrine nearby the forest. Perhaps at the same time, I would be able to discover two more things that I found curious. The first was the fact that Machiko seemed surprisingly nervous when the spirit herself was mentioned. What could have possibly happened to make Machiko react like that? The second thing was more important, to solve the problem surrounding the hostility between the Katsuni and the village. Of course I couldn't forget about the fact that I needed to find my way homewards also. It was just around the time that I finished gathering my thoughts that Miko's voice resounded from downstairs. "Takani, breakfast is ready. Can you go and call One-isama?" "Sure, we'll be right there." I quickly made my way outside the room, soon finding myself within one of the corridors of the Katsuni mansion. Once outside, it didn't take long for me to find Machiko wandering down the corridors, her lips curving into a smile when she saw me. "No need to look for me, Takakun." Miko's voice reached loud and clear. "Good morning, Good morning, Machiko-chan. Did you sleep well?" "It was a decent sleep, perhaps a little lonely though. However, you seem to be getting on well with my sister, Takani. Maybe I should consider you the competition. A rival in the quest of my heart, my dear Miko-chan. To be the most fondly cared for elder sibling." "Yeah, she seems attached to it. I guess I'll be stuck with that name for a while." "Is it not to your liking?" "Well, maybe you would prefer to be called Darling instead." "You were watching us?" "Indeed. It was taking you both such a long time I grew rather curious as to your antics, so I snuck out. But I didn't see you at all." "Well, I am a Katsuni spirit. Hiding myself from a human is like playing hide-and-seek with a child." "And why didn't you two use your hiding skills from the samurai girls?" "Now that you mention it, the thought never occurred to me." "Well, it was certainly fun getting chased by them. Plus, Miko tends not to have a lot of control over her change. She's far too excitable to maintain an illusion. It's her one magical blind spot. I can't imagine it would have still been fun if the Tsundra Tyrant caught you both." "Well, that certainly would have been an unpleasant scenario to imagine. Then again, I'm sure you would end up saving me, Takakun." I could notice the subtle difference in Machiko's voice, the sweet sugar-coated words that caused my cheeks to flush up slightly. I really wasn't good at dealing with this girl's flirting attempts. Swiftly stepping backwards, I turned towards the staircase at the end of the corridor and replied in a hurried tone. "Miko-chan is waiting on us." And with that, I rushed down towards the kitchen, with Machiko giggling behind me as she followed. "Ah, good morning both of you. I fixed up some eggs and toast for you. There's some oranges too." "Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Chikubo. You're really getting better at this." To be able to wake up with the knowledge a pretty girl made me breakfast. It's good to be alive. "And perhaps one resting next to you too?" That was a bit overkill, especially the conditions that girl was resting next to me. As if on cue, I recalled the sight of the sleeping Machiko yesterday, my cheeks colouring up a little, while I sat quietly down at the table, trying to distract myself by changing the subject. "So, thanks to you two, I learned a bit about your world. How about I might return the favour and talk about mine? Any questions you two might have?" "Oh yes, I want to know, what are the spirits like in your world?" "Spirits, you say?" For a moment, I tried to think about a question before I replied with a sheepish grin. "Well, in our world, spirits are actually something out of folk tales. Like they appear in stories and certain religions even worship them, but it's not like we've got them running around like in this world." "Folk tales? Worship? Your world is strange, Takakun." "Aw, that's kind of boring. What about your life? Are you a defender of your village? You said something about judo before. What is that?" "You mean judo?" "Well, in my world, people got to go to school. That's basically a place of knowledge where you learn a lot of things before you're even considered an adult in our society. But in my world, the defenders are known as the police. They keep the peace and such. I'm just a student. Or you could say that I'm still studying to become a defender, not just of my village, but of my whole country." I was over-exaggerating, but It felt kind of pleasant to call myself a defender. That sounds weird. Are the police like the army, defending the whole nation? Your world is very strange, Takakun. I wouldn't call it strange, Machiko-chan. It's this world that's a bit unusual, but no, the police are like the guards of a village, while we have an actual army to defend the whole nation. Either way, your world sounds like fun, especially if everyone's like you. Anyway, we... Oh, no, gosh darn it, these oranges have all got worms inside them. Ew. Oh, Onasama, did you forget to check them again? Oh, how terrible. Perhaps that was the day I became overcome with fatigue. Could not possibly pull myself from my bed sheets. Phew, big old lazy meanie. I'll just have to go and get some apples instead. While Miko went outside to grab some apples, my eyes drifted towards Machiko, who was looking with a content smile at me, clearly pleased by something. It is so good seeing her in such a good mood. It has been a tough few months, I must admit. She has been upset that her magical skills have not been progressing as fast as they once did. We all have our ups and downs, especially with studying. I still remember how I used to dread the time we had exams. So little time for my judo. It made me rather sad at times. That does sound rather stressful. Tell me, Takakun, what is it that you study? I'm intrigued by this school notion. Well, my situation is a bit different from most. While I do go to school like everyone else, my main focus is actually on becoming an athlete. To explain in a way you might understand, an athlete is someone who performs a certain sport, and those who are among the best represent their countries. I myself have an upcoming competition that would decide if I can represent my country at judo. I believe I understand. Your focus is on your strength, honing whilst still gathering knowledge to allow yourself a multitude of options. An interesting method. I must thank you, by the way. I guess you could describe it like that, and thank me? Indeed. I believe that your appearance has a lot to do with Miko's newfound joy. She's even singing out there. I have not heard her sing in weeks. It warms my heart to see her so overjoyed, and it's because of you. Thank you, Takakun. I doubt it's just because of me, but you are welcome. I smiled bashfully at Machiko before I continued speaking. Then again, I should also thank you for busting my rear out of jail. I don't want to imagine what I would have been doing if I was still in the care of the Sundry tyrant. You're most welcome. Please do not be so hard on Mika-chan, though. There are many things beyond her control. But perhaps it's out of our hands for now. I still wish to thank you, Takakun. I was wondering how I might repay you for bringing such joy to Miko-chan. I do wonder what turned the village to look so unkindly on you and Miko-chan. And repay me? For a moment my thoughts drifted towards a certain idea, but my cheeks quickly turned a scarlet red at the thought. I can't ask such a thing of her. I'm not sure I have anything in mind. Just your smile is payment enough. You are a true gentleman, Takakun. Shame, I was thinking of such naughty things too. The Kitsumi giggled gently to herself as she turned back to the garden, watching Miko struggle to climb down from a tree with an armful of apples. Miko-chan, there are only 3 of us. Your belly does not count as a 4th person. Speaking of a 4th person, I can't help but notice that from what I was told, you two used to interact a lot with the spirit of the shrine. What made you get so nervous when this Tsuri is involved? That's not so important. Oh, is that a giant bird carrying the seed of the world tree? Maybe I should go and... Tsuri Dono. Thank you for visiting it today. Miko-chan is right over there. Tsuri, no. I'm sorry I've been so busy. Please forgive me, Tsuri-sama. To think it should get you so flustered. Is she that amazing of a person? You don't understand. It's complicated. There are certain skills that I as a Kitsumi can must have used, a certain way of talking and acting to subtly influence how people perceive me. They are... I suppose they'd be like social skills for spirits. Tsuri can completely negate mine and it leaves me feeling rather nervous and childlike. I see, so basically she's immune to your flirting and... For a moment my mind was connecting the dots and I planted the palm of my hand against my forehead. Now I get it. Machiko-chan is afraid of approaching her because Tsuri is even greater flirter than her. But if she's flirting with you... I see, you swing that way. Somehow I suddenly feel rather disappointed. For some reason I couldn't exactly grasp. But that's not true. Well, maybe slightly about her being a stronger... I mean, she's an overpowering presence and it does not allow me to properly do my thing. I don't know why we're talking about swinging though. It means that, you know, you like girls. Oh really? Well, how about we forget about Tsuri and I show you exactly which way I do swing, Takakun. That won't be necessary. Just must be quite a challenge to deal with, though, especially since... I briefly lowered my voice to whisper under my breath. You're already a handful to deal with when you start teasing. You are perhaps less of a gentleman than I thought, Takakun. Then what would I be? A lovable rogue, perhaps? Or maybe you see yourself as more of the hero type. Obviously I'm a hero. A perverted one, but still a hero. Wanasama, Takani. Welcome back, Mika-chan. How did the hunt for the golden apple go? No golden ones, but I got a load of good ones. Even one that's shaped like a heart. You can have that one, Takani. An apple shaped like a heart. That's a curious thing. But could this mean you're confessing your love to me by giving me a heart? Maybe I am. I seriously think Ichiwa would kill me if she saw me in my current situation. Why thank you, my fair lady. I shall savour every moment of its sweet flavour. Miko, how could you betray your love for me, your one and only sister? Has all we've done together meant nothing? Oh my. But I love you too, Wanasami. I found a super big apple that you can have. Polygamy at its finest. Well, you've both got to eat up. We're going to go and see Su-chan. Wait, I thought we would at least have had to request her permission and wait until she would be bored enough to reply. True, but when I was picking apples I found one of her tiny familiars, and she said that she wanted to see us today. Oh, poop. Following the directions the familiar of Tsuri had given Miko, we set off from the mansion. The three of us picked our way into the forest, fortunately without getting lost, this time under the instruction of the tiny familiar. It didn't take long for us to get past the place where Machiko had fallen into the river last time we entered the forest, but they say a warned fox is worth two, and this time she avoided any missteps. So according to the familiar thingies, the shrine is supposed to be up ahead. My gaze had fallen upon a series of stairs that start to ascend from the dirt path towards a hill, a gate of sorts standing at the top of the hill. Oh no, what could she want to see us for? She never summons us, she always just bumps into us. Why'd she called us? You're so silly. I'm sure it's nothing to be nervous about. Maybe she's found a way to stop my headaches, Wanasami. Now that would be wonderful, but it's no use guessing when she's just up ahead. With a stride of confidence in my steps, I swiftly climbed the stairs, the girls quickly following my wake, one with bold steps and one with rather shaky, slow paces. Come on, Wanasami, why don't we make a game of it? Let's take your mind off of where we are. We could play Hop Along Dandy. Hop! Ah! Miko-chan. As I watched, the spunky girl hopped past me, giving out commands that the older girl seemed to be following. They both moved one step at a time, either hopping, stepping, or jumping up to the next step. When one fumbled, the other got to take a step, and the command then switched to the other girl. I watched in amazement as the panic that had almost set in Michiko vanished as she played the silly game with her sister. Soon the two sisters reached the top of the stairs, and a voice I could have sworn I heard somewhere before resounded through the night. How curious. Miko-chan hasn't changed in all those years, still hopping around on my doorstep like a little bunny. Yip. The voice seemingly made Machiko let out a cry of surprise, her body making a light tremble when the source behind the voice revealed itself, right where we had arrived at the shrine grounds. The one responsible for this nervous reaction seemed to be a familiar figure that hopped off the gate and landed gracefully before us, her tail sweeping back and forth through the air. And Machi-chan, I'm so delighted to see you again. It's been a while since we last played. Have you been doing well? Hi, it's Su-chan. We were playing a game. Hello, Tsuri-sama. We're doing well. It did look like an incredibly cute game. Then again, it might have only because you two really cute kitsune were playing it. Still, I'm amused you didn't join them, human boy. Couldn't keep up with their steps. I was more focused on meeting you than playing a game. How unfortunate to ignore the appeal that games hold. To always look at life with such a serious, worrisome mind setting is unhealthy. Isn't that right, my dear Machi-chan? But that's not fair, Tsu-chan. Takani didn't know the rules yet, and it wouldn't be fair to bring someone in part way. He was learning how to play. I'm sure he'll take part next time. That's it. Not, healthy? The Kitsumi took a deep breath and closed her eyes, composing herself. Sorry, my throat's getting horribly dry. But Mako's right. Takakun was learning the game. It's not his fault. I'm just teasing him, my darlings. There's no need to get so worried. But I can imagine what brings you three here. However, I'm surprised about one thing. But, Suchan, you called us here yourself. I did. That's not what I'm surprised about. It's the fact that your Takakun is here with you, too. Doesn't it strike you both as odd? A human being so friendly with the spirits. Last time I saw that one was when Machi-chan was still a toddler. That's what makes me curious. Why is he here with the Kitsune, rather than the samurai girls who are closer to his kin? That's because the guards from the village, they arrested him because of our actions. He helped us to escape, but got taken instead. We rescued him and let him stay with us. It's nothing bad, I swear. He's just a nice human. He seems to be not from here, though. I didn't mean it in a bad way, my dear. Rather, it's fascinating to see a human protect a spirit. But of course he's not from the village. One like me takes little interest in the closed-minded humans of this realm. So you could say your thoughts are correct. That boy is not from this world. And yet, he might end up playing an important role, whether he likes it or not. I mentioned this to Mika-chan and Machiko-chan before, but it doesn't matter to me whether they are spirits or humans. Still, despite the fact I like this world, I do like to get sent back to my world. Again, dubious English, can't tell if it's a dodgy translation or if the writer just sucks. I do have an important match to take part in. Ah, right, your upcoming battle. Let us discuss the matter inside the shrine, shall we? We will wait for you here, Takakun. With all that, it seems the Katsumi wouldn't accompany me any further. My steps growing a bit more hesitant, feeling a little bit nervous about being left alone with this woman. And here we are. The place of our first conversation unfolded. I guess now is a proper time to introduce myself. My name is Tsuri, and just like your two companions, I am one of the spirits that inhabit this realm. And yet are different from them, isn't that right? How observant of you. Yes, there is a difference between me and most spirits. The spirits have a hierarchy among them. The stronger a spirit, the higher they are in standing. Of course, for our race, power is often associated with experience. So you're saying that you're an ancient being? No, I wouldn't go that far, Takahiro. It's rude to question a girl's age. But, onto the subject of your desire to return to your own world. You're going to send me back? Great. I'm afraid sending you back is beyond my capabilities. Wait, what? Yeah. Weren't you the one who sent me here in the first place? That would be an incorrect assumption. Which is your wish at the shrine to send you here. I did mention during our first encounter that this place is special, didn't I? Now I thought about it, she did mention something along those lines. I briefly closed my eyes trying to recall what she had mentioned before. The shrine is a place of power. That's right. Since you have spent time with the Kitsumi before you arrived here, you likely know that their magic is within this world. However, it's not that Miko-chan possesses said magic, rather her body is able to establish a connection with the magic within this world. That sounds a bit complicated. Basically, people who can use magic normally can only do this because their bodies have a special link to the world's magic. Try and imagine it like this. The magic within the worlds flows through several gateways. We commonly call them mana gateways, or those who possess the ability to do magic because they contain a certain heart in their body. A mana receiver could be a term for it. So you're also connected to the world like this. No, my boy. I am not borrowing the magic of this realm. I'm a powerful enough spirit to perform magic on my own. However, the shrine is located on a mana gateway, what could translate to the explanation of how the shrine in your world is said to be capable of granting wishes. Then why can't you use that magic to send me back? Because it's not my magic that brought you here, it's the magic of the shrine, or rather the world itself that pulled you into this realm. So you're saying that I'm stuck here forever? Not forever. You simply need to carry out the world's will. Oh, great. So you're saying the plant has a will of its own? And how in the world am I going to learn what it's up to? That's what you have me for, silly. I am the guardian of this shrine, so obviously I know its intentions. In your case, the task you were given was quite a harsh one. Don't tell me that I had to collect wedding sashes. And marry the Machi-chan in the process. You wish. All teasing aside, this region is having its fair share of problems. It's been a long time now that the spirits dwell within this realm shared with humans, but it hasn't always been like this. You mean the spirits have a world of their own? Yes, we used to have a world of our own, but that realm has started to merge with this one, causing some spirits to find themselves trapped here. Unfortunately, all this occurred before the more powerful spirits had the opportunity to reverse the damage. So Machiko-chan and Miko-chan are... They don't belong in this world, albeit neither of them likely remember it clearly, since they were still akin to a human toddler when they were sent into this world. I started to understand it slowly, the reason why the Kitsumi and the villagers were at such uneasy terms. Anyone would be restless if beings from another world that you had never seen before suddenly arrived at your doorstep. Is that the reason why there is such tension between them and the villagers? I am afraid the Kitsumi sisters are the victims of a misunderstanding. You see, Machi-tan and Miko-chan aren't the only spirits in this country. There are others within this country, and that leads exactly to the problematic situation. You mean there are other Kitsune in this region? Not Kitsune, but they are also spirits. They were sent into this realm just like the Kitsune sisters. Unfortunately, they were sent rather far from here. While Machi-tan and Miko-chan were close enough for me to take care of, the others were an entirely different story. How exactly did you mean? Did something happen to them? 4 spirits were sent into this region alongside Miko-chan and Machi-tan when the worlds briefly merged. Unlike the Kitsumi sisters, those 4 didn't have anyone to watch over them, and as a result, they grown rather spoiled and wild. I assume that should be they have grown. You're saying that they are wild spirits who were rather spoiled? That sounded like the recipe for trouble. Yes, they grown oblivious. Oh, God, the dodgy English here. This has got to be... seriously, I can't tell if this is a dodgy translation or not. They have grown oblivious to the ways of human society to the way human society worked, and their behavior made humans mistake those spirits as monsters. Even now, these girls and their games are mistaken as assaults, and as a result, there is a tension between the spirits and humans. So then it's because those spirits troubling the villagers that Machiko-chan and Miko-chan are discriminated. You could say that's the reason. Then why didn't you stop these monster girls? Because I can't leave this forest. I'm the guardian and spirit of this shrine, so I can't leave my domain. Then again, I couldn't help but wonder what purpose Tsuri really had behind telling me about the spirits. Could it have been related to finding my way back home? Then solving the problem with the spirits could be my ticket back to my own world. Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised if dealing with the 4 spirits would help solve the problems between the spirits and humans. While it would be difficult to track them down, there might be an opportunity for you soon. An opportunity? I'm sensing one of them heading through the forest towards the village. Perhaps if you can convince Machi-chan and Miko-chan to help you save the village from whatever antics they are up to, you might be able to make the villagers at least accept the sisters. That idea did make sense. If Machiko and Miko were seen saving the village from a threat, they might be forgiven for the little maiden silk scenario. I just hope this will work. Only time will tell. For now, it's best you get the girls and hurry towards the village to stop the wild spirit from causing a mess. Nodding my head in agreement, I quickly ran outside, trying to think of how I would convince Machiko and Miko to help me save the village. Certainly, it would have been great if they were praised as heroes and their past pranks forgotten, but I imagine that the sisters wouldn't have had that many fond feelings towards the villagers after the treatment they received. I wonder how he'll solve the challenges set before him. I soon found Machiko and Miko talking near the staircase leading back into the forest. The 2 girls looked like they were playing a game similar to hopscotch on the wide shrine step. Now it's time for me to figure out how to convince the girls. Ah, Takakun, is everything well? You look concerned. Tsuri told me some interesting stuff. Oh? What was it? Did she tell you Machiko's bust size? Miko! Howie! No, nothing like that. And even if she offered to, I would have declined. I'm a gentleman. She told me about recent events, and I think I found a way to get you both accepted by the village. Wait, Tsuri-sama told you? What did she tell you? She's not told us anything. She didn't go into too many details. She just told me that there are feral spirits that are doing their spirity things, which the people of the village think that they are under attack. If we can convince the villagers that the other spirits are just playing, maybe we can figure out a way to protect them. And if you help doing so, maybe they'll warm up to you. Hey, that'll work for sure. Suchan and Takani are so smart. Whoa, wait. Miko, calm down. Takakun, there's no way the village will change that easily. Even if we can convince the Elder, the 2 guards will never forgive us our theft. I firmly believe in the thought that I'd rather try something and fail than regret having not tried. Of course, the 2 guards will be upset, but perhaps after our heroic efforts to save the village, they might be more willing to listen to your story. Try something and fail, then regret not having tried. But wouldn't you be sad if you failed despite having tried so hard? Well, that's if I fail. Nothing is set in stone, so it never hurts to try. While I was rather certain of this idea, I knew I had to convince the girls that this plan would work. Of course, with the amount of confidence my tone carried, it was only a matter of time before Machiko started to consider it. I'm not so sure, Takakun. Do you really want to face the wrath of Mio head on? If it's for the sake of my friends, then yes, and perhaps if we're lucky, she finally shows that dear side of her. I'm for it. I want to play with the people of the town. I want to be able to eat the delicious smelling foods. I want to learn about them. And what about you, Machiko-chan? Don't you want to be able to wander around without the constant thought of being hunted and chased by the village? This could be the only chance we'll get. I suppose with both of you being so enthusiastic, I do not have much of a choice in the matter. It would be rather nice to be able to trade It would be rather nice to be able to trade for some sake from the human world. Spirit sake is quite bland. That's the spirit. We should hurry towards the village then. Very well. In the meanwhile, at the village, something is happening that we will see in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.